Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. It's an interesting process, channeling. One that my partner didn't understand when he began, and now he does. He steps aside, and the secret of this, as well as those who heal and read, is the same. Is that the human being can remove themselves and all of their filters for just a moment and let the words come in. The words from the concepts that they feel from the other side of the veil, brought to them often through the pineal. Dear ones, there's an adjustment period of time. There always is. Or the human brain of those listening and sitting in front of me, at some level they have to figure out what's going on. Some don't believe it is real, some believe it is real, but they don't believe it's from the other side. They say it is from the human's higher self perspective. What have your teachers told you this is? I want you to think about what your teachers have told you this is, and then I want you, in all fairness, to put it aside for a moment. There are some beliefs that say that humans by themselves cannot touch anything on the other side of the veil. There must be an perhaps teacher of some kind, of some elevation, to do that for you. Some believe it has to be done in a group instead of individually. I'm going to ask you the same thing I ask others. Why do you limit the love of God? Spirit sees you as family, and there's nothing more sacred. Within family, there is preciousness, there is love, there is caring, responsibility. You already know you're different. You do not represent that which has been evolved from the animals. Your DNA itself has been changed so that you can walk through this test, if you want to call it that. The experience of humanism, life after life, creates the opportunity for growth and wisdom and advancement. And that's why it exists. Dear ones, how do you feel about your family? And if you have a child, and many of you do, and you watch it grow and learn things, and you're so pleased. You can hardly wait to tell your neighbors and your friends the latest good thing that your child did. And let me ask you this, Mom, Dad, do you make your child go through somebody else to talk to you? Are you that important that you would remove yourself that far from your children? Perhaps you make them write a letter and you deliver it to you through somebody who has a special costume in the other room. Then you can read it and deliver it back through somebody who has another kind of a costume to them. Sounds funny, doesn't it? But that's what often humans do. They do not see God in them. They see it apart from them. And so they go through a process or a procedure to get to God. Dear ones, I would like to tell you the truth. We are with you all the time. When you sit to meditate, are you aware? We have been with you all day long. Some of you may meditate and start by by asking for things that you need. We know what you need. Some of you think of God as a good friend that you have to describe what has happened during the day. We were there during the day, like you would be for your children. Except that, dear ones, you are not our children. You are our equals. You are our family. And when you're not here, you're with us. You are us. The veil that exists between us is on purpose. It was placed there so that you had to have free choice to look. And through that free choice, a system is set up where you learn with that free choice, without a bias from us. And this is what would call the system of earth, that by yourself you would discover God within. And God is within. All that lives and breathes is part of the system. All of it. Even the very dirt of the earth and that which you walk upon is sacred. Some of it has consciousness you're not aware of, but all of it knows about you. Dear ones, you are that which is elevated on the planet. There is nothing that is elevated further than you. That is the free choice, to find God inside and change the planet. Now, in the process, you're going to change you. Some of you believe you are workers of the light. We use the metaphor of the lighthouse all the time. And it's a beautiful, beautiful metaphor. And what I want to tell you is that those who work in the light eventually become light. Those who live in the lighthouse eventually become the lighthouse. This is the system of the planet. It integrates within itself. There is a cycle of beauty. There is no such thing as death, just the cycle of life. We have said to you there are no goodbyes, for the cycle has you continue. What are you going to do with this information right there in the chair where you sit? Here's what we ask. Believe it. You're not going to be able to change anything around you until you believe this. Is it possible that you're more than you've been told? Is it possible that your energy alone can change the things around you? And the answer is yes. Is it possible that inside you is an energy that can literally stand above yourself and maybe see things around you? And the answer is yes. Is it possible that your DNA is starting to enhance itself and become more aware of who you are? And the answer is yes. And all this belongs to a certain kind of human, a human called an old soul. Now, the old soul is one who's been here before many times, and their Akash carries with it an enormous amount of information and wisdom and lifetimes of talents, both genders, and the beauty of the knowledge that you have. I want you to realize the energy in the room. It's sacred. It's been prepared carefully for you. It's patterned. Now, we're going to use that word a lot in the future. For the human can pattern energy wherever they go. And the pattern of the energy that they make is the pattern of the beauty of the family. so that when you sit together, there are no distractions. Only love. And it's the love of the earth for you. It's the love of God for you. It is the love of Spirit for all you are. How can we say this more succinctly and easier than this? We know who you are. We know your names and what has happened to you. All of the things that you think are mysteries in your life at the moment are an open book to God. And because of this, we also have the solutions on the next page. Anyone who listens to this should know this. The solutions have already been done. If you'll just turn the page, you'll see it. And that is the beauty of what we teach. That humans are enabled to do things that perhaps your teachers didn't tell you about, or didn't know about, or they existed in an age where it was not possible. And now it is. All of it. We say we know, dear ones, where we are, who is here, and what is going to be next for you. And so it is. Greetings, dear ones. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. There are those who listen to these messages from city to city, from country to country, and you recognize the pattern. You've decided to spend a day, an entire day, listening to those who might have ideas that are odd or strange or above that which you call physics or even reality or even that which is logical. And that means there are those for the first time. And you listen and see and watch. And all that you are that is survival is alert. Is it real? Is it not real? Is it the man who stood a moment ago and giving you a lecture? Is there any difference, any change? Is the energy different? Can I even tell if it's different? Will I allow myself to feel it's different? And if you're not used to this, I will tell you that there's chatter going on right now in your mind. The chatter is to cover up the entourage, to shield you, because that which is survival has kept you away from God. The 3D survival is what human beings come in with and need, and it's basic to everything you do, to becoming balanced and sane looking to those who have to judge you for school and job and relationships. But it's changing. We've talked about the bubble that you're in, the box that some of you are in. I'll call it the box of chatter. There's part of your brain right now that tells you that everything that you are hearing and seeing cannot be. It's just part of a system of what people do. Perhaps when they're just a little unbalanced, so they come and watch a man in a chair who gives them messages from beyond. And they go outside and laugh and giggle with their friends at how strange some people are. And the chatter continues and continues and continues. And what they cannot see or care about or know is that as they walk down the street giggling at all the strange people, there's an entourage around them that they will never see unless they open that box that loves them beyond belief. And there are more than dozens, more than hundreds, uncountable numbers of what I will call soul angels, past life energies, all surrounding them all the time, always waiting that someday, maybe someday, the chatter will stop. And they would open the box and find another world that they never knew was there. A world that is them. It's not odd, it's not spooky, it's not strange, it's them with them. Imagine finding yourself on the other side of the veil. Imagine finding yourself in this place in ways you never thought of. My partner speaks of synchronicity, but he doesn't tell you the whole thing. He doesn't tell you really how it works. He doesn't tell you that his box is open, and when he stands in the airport looking for a way to get someplace, he's not just looking for odd synchronistic stuff. He's paying attention to a box without chatter, where there is an entourage that is working for him like it would work for you, that points him in the right direction so he won't miss a meeting, so he'll be in the right place at the right time, that others can hear this message, that you are powerful beyond belief when it comes to controlling you and your life, that you don't believe it. Or you think you do and you give lip service to, but you really don't. Too much chatter. Too invested in that which others have told you you can and cannot do. Too much investment with perhaps somebody you trust, who you look at and they say, not really, dear, you can't really do that. Or you can do this, but you can't really do that. And so that's where you go. Dear ones, I want to tell you something. You have inside you God. Are you going to trust that advice, or are you going to go with a friend? If you learn to turn inward instead of outward, you're going to find a multiplication of all that you think you are. It is so much greater than you ever thought. And it'll start slow, and you'll start to see some things change, and you'll go, this is working, this is working. You'll try a little more, and you'll say, this is working. And people will come up to you and say, you look different. Something is happening, and you're going to say, it is happening, and they'll say, what is? What is it? And you say, I have no idea. Well, how did you do it? I have no idea. But inside me, I have opened up a box that I was told I had that feels good and sacred. I'm feeling better. Things are starting to shift and change. I see light at the end of the tunnel instead of doom. And that's different, and it's good enough for me that I even see a little light. And the light starts to get bigger as you exercise the muscles of intuition and get out of that box, which is only survival. The new energy on this planet, which my partner is going to tell you more about in a moment, is so different. Everyone listening to this, I want you to forget something that is so common to humanity, and the words are, I'll never do it again, it didn't work before, been there, done that, what's new? Oh, how 3D. You're never going to try something because you tried it too soon and it didn't work. Oh, how 3D. Do you realize you're on a linear path and you've just decided that everything you tried, because you tried it at the wrong time, will never work again? I want you to pick up the pieces, take a look at what you intuitively can do, what you know and have learned in the past. Should I work then? Realize it didn't because you did it too soon, and start building it slowly again. Do you hear me? Somebody in here, well, there's more than one, had to hear that. The whole idea that it didn't work in the past, therefore it never will work, is ridiculous. For a light worker, for an old soul who's lived so many lifetimes, you know better. But that's the box of chatter that we talk about. You know what's different in some of the young people today? There are some really smart, very smart, science and medical people that say the kids are broken. I'd like you to know who's broken and who isn't. You see, a lot of children are being born today without the chatter. The box is opening automatically, and they're starting to sense what is around them. They're starting to realize they can push the envelope of their own reality, move from A to B, if they can just get the adults out of the way. Am I hitting home here to anyone who's listening? You see, the consciousness of humanity is starting to shift. And naturally, you're going to see it first with the youngest, who don't have to relearn anything like you do. This is the most beautiful message I could ever give to you. In this short amount of time I just have, you can cancel the chatter by yourself. Free choice. Get rid of the 3D stuff that keeps you in the box. That's all for now. How many of you are aware the energy is different in this room than it was a little bit ago? That the eyes are looking at you from so many, and the eyes is the love of God. And so it is.